There comes a time in a creator's life when he says no more commissions because he doesn't want to fulfill what a client's vision is. He wants to fulfill his. That's somebody else's vision. We're talking about me, by the way. I need to figure out whether I want to base this video off of Choso fighting Itadori in the train station or like the final battle area during one of the last few episodes. So I ended up picking the train station because of this clip. Literally the definition of on-site. Bro is locked in, I'm not gonna lie. So it's official, I'm making this video in the train station. The filming process. When you're filming something and you're planning on replacing the environment behind you, the one thing you have to get right is lighting. If you're filming an outside scene, make sure you're filming outside. If you're filming a nighttime scene, just make sure that wherever you're filming, you can recreate those same lighting conditions. I decided I was gonna recreate the Shibuya train station where Choso and Itadori fought for the first time because I thought it would be a really cool scene to recreate in 3D. So yeah, it's just a simple top-down light, right? Wrong. Since I'm a really smart guy, I decided to film in a room with white walls and bounce lighting is a thing. So the light was just bouncing all over the walls like crazy and just blowing out my image is just making it look brighter. So when I finished filming and actually looked at my footage, something looked off and I realized that my image was way too bright and I didn't match the environment. In reality, did I have to refilm? Yes. And did I waste all that expensive makeup? Yes. Good thing is when I started filming again, I made sure I was actually in a darker space, so the top-down light should match the environment, and I was right. As I was watching back the footage when I was recording, I realized I looked, stupid. This was the cosplay right out the box. So I just simply looked at a picture of Choso and realized that his costume actually looked good. The main thing that was throwing it off was the sleeves. The sleeves are skin tight. I was about to just give up. I had no idea how I was gonna make the costume look more flowy. I can just strip these pillows of their outer garments and use them as my sleeves. And it actually did not look bad. But the costume was also falling apart. So after I was filming the second day, I said, no more filming. This costume is going in the trash. Itadori and Choso are gonna be in the Shibuya train station. And this is a Choso video, so I'm not gonna worry about Itadori that much. But I actually built out the scene a little bit before I started filming, you know, back when I had a full beard. I actually went outside and started scanning a bunch of stuff so I could make the environment look a lot more gross and dirty. And if you wanna see me making my environment, you can always just go look at my Patreon. Please. I didn't really have a concept to go by. I didn't make a storyboard. I didn't do any of that. Because, you know, it's kind of better if you just let the ideas come to you and you can just do some shots and just go as you go along. But for me, I just didn't want to. Considering Choso isn't really big on movement, he kind of just stands there, but, you know, in a cool way. At first, I tried going outside and kind of doing movements that I think he would do that look kind of cool, but then I figured I was probably doing too much, so I just decided to stop overthinking. Once I started actually working on this video day to day, I didn't realize at the time, but I was doing something very unhealthy, but I loved it. I would wake up, put a PB&J in a bag, stumble over to my computer, talk to Kari, do work all day up until wee hours into the night or even the morning time. But then after I would set my renders up, I realized I was doing nothing but sitting all day. So I actually started trying to go to the gym after I was done, even though it would be 2, sometimes 4 a.m. All I did was make sure I made enough progress each day to where whenever I left my computer, I would have something rendering. So after I was done working at night, I would go down to the gym and have something rendering, come back up from the gym, and then see that my render was done, and then start a new render, sleep for a little bit, and then start working again. Who cares if I'm not making money right now? I'm making my video. I have rigid body physics. So there finally came a time where I dragged my last clip into the timeline, and I said, oh, I'm done. I looked at the date, 20 days have passed. That's not bad at all. With that, I could make a video every month. Actually, speaking of that, if you guys want to help me, you can just check out my Patreon. There's some cool stuff on there. Assets, tutorials, and if you just want to show general support. Thank you. I made a lot of sacrifices to do this video in this amount of time. I honestly learned a lot during this month. For a long time, I kind of saw myself as like a lazy person. I didn't really know where my life was gonna go because the thought of a 9-to-5 was just a dread to me. The thought of going to school, even when I was in school, I hated it. But I actually found something that I really enjoy doing. Just creating things. That is what I find joy in, is doing this. Being around support, being around people who are in the same field. My friends. Let's see how good I made this Choso in live action in 20 days. Enjoy.
At a certain point, did you realize I didn't know you were filming, or did you just think I knew the whole entire time?
I thought you knew because I like after I said it, like you're like, oh cool, bet, and then I was like, I just hit record.